Whoa. All right, I'm cool with that. Again, so we'll give everybody about 3-4 minutes to come in, and yeah, we'll get started. Anybody want to say hello while we're waiting? Arcana Industries and Karna. No, that's cool. Hey. All right. I shouldn't have told people I was going to record it. I feel like if I told you I was going to record it, you just didn't have to show up. I'm like, oh, I'll just catch the recording. The good thing is, those of you guys who did show up, we can just spend a lot of time talking about the questions and answers that you guys have. Who else? We got Joe from London, Ramon's iPhone. A lot of you guys have different usernames from the group. That's all right, though. Again, a lot of you guys are on mute, so if you're trying to speak, I think I did the auto mute when you come in. Should probably take that off. Might be too late. We lost one. Detroit, Newcastle. Oh man, yeah, it's midnight. You got a bunch of kids there. You gotta be quiet. I'm so sorry, Troy. Next weekend, we're doing the intro talk that I already did 2 weeks ago. We're going to do that at 10 p.m. my time. So it'll be about 12 hours away, which means I think for Sunday, okay, that's a good time for you. I think Sunday, I think is the next day for you. So I'll do it Saturday, but at 10 p.m. instead of 10 a.m., which will push it back 12 hours. I think that's for everybody who couldn't make the introduction that we really had a good turnout for. But everybody's on different time zones, so it's kind of hard to pick the perfect time for everybody. Any other introductions? No worries. All right. Oh, Karna. Who is our? I'm probably seen your post a couple times. No, but it sounds familiar. Maybe not. What do with Anthony? Oh, okay. So wait, does that really mean I have like 6 people in here, and Anthony and Connor are the same person? Perfect. Just made my group really small. Thanks, Les. Probably butchering the name. So let's get started, guys. Most of you guys already know me. My name is Overnight Coder. Some of you guys know me as Tim or Timothy. I think the purpose of this group is really for you guys. We had the directory talk, which I'm noticing a lot of you guys are already here from that directory talk. But if you weren't, we just kind of went over a little bit of everything: advertising, ListingPro, or finding the best theme solution for yourself. Today is more, we're going to split it up into 2. I'm hoping you guys stick around for the second one because that's my favorite part. For the first hour, I just want to do questions and answers for ListingPro. Only one requirement here, guys, is try to keep your questions a little basic or more simplistic. If you have to pull up a website or it's talking about specific CSS for your specific site, it'd probably be best if you just message me after this, only because I want to stick to an hour for this and then jump in. I think I have a couple people jumping in at 11 for the second conversation, which is creating a different solution other than ListingPro. So with that being said, I do want to share my screen just for a second before we get started with the questions and answers. Most of you guys are familiar with hopefully everybody can see my screen. Most of you guys are already familiar with the directory group that we have for ListingPro that almost has 1,000 members. Thank you for being a part of that. That's super awesome. It's a great learning experience, even for myself, who I'm not a know-it-all, but I know a lot about ListingPro. I'm still learning from that group with questions, answers, things like that. We decided to start this secondary group that if you guys have joined, I think there's a notification at the top of the original group, or you can find it by typing in the search. The idea for this group is just everything directories, right? We don't want to focus just on ListingPro. We're focused more on, and you can ask ListingPro questions, but it's more on, owning a directory website, developing, managing ideas, everything from hosting to what are some other things we can do? What are some plugins that we can that obviously aren't related to ListingPro? So it's a really good group. Anybody already in the original group can automatically join, even though it's a private group. It's allowing anybody from the ListingPro team group to join. So that being said, that's all I just wanted to share there. I noticed somebody raised their hand, which is an awesome feature. Amr, hopefully I'm saying that right. Go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Did you have a question you wanted to ask?
No, just wanted to say
No worries. Just testing the hand raising solution. Yeah, we learned from the first call that was an awesome way. If there's a bunch of people talking, I've never done it, but I know that somewhere on your username you can just like raise your hand type deal. It kind of works. But yeah, go ahead, guys. This one's for you. I'm not going to explain everything about ListingPro. Just wanted to get some questions, comments. If there's not a lot of chat, I'll chime in and just give you guys some ideas, examples, or things of that nature. Any questions so far? Anybody anybody having any issue with anything? Has anybody seen the new video, the hour and 40 minutes where I create a whole ListingPro website? Have you guys seen that? So go ahead. If Joe, feel free, man. If nobody's talking.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Yeah. So I was wondering about the SEO tools. What plugins can we use for building like good SEO for a directory?
Oh, that's a perfect question, man. So a lot of people have their own things. I've seen like a lot of people are saying Rank Math is better than Yoast. I grew up, and not grew up, but for the past many years, I've always used Yoast. And Yoast is a really easy tool to use. I'm not going to say it's the best, only because I haven't tried a lot of the others. But Yoast, I always use the free version, right? I use the Yoast version. You can really set up Yoast and forget about Yoast, and it'll set up titles, it'll set up your social media images, and once you set it up, it can kind of do its own job. I will give you an example. When I started my kiteboarding directory, I wanted to do a better job, and I had never really. I'm not big into purchasing premium monthly or yearly plugins. So I didn't want to get Yoast Premium, but I actually invested in Yoast Premium for the directory site. I was really happy with it, like super happy with it, only because, of course, I'm using this on my news posts. So like on my news blog, I'm keeping it in mind for listings, but I'm not really in control of all my listings. So I started using it on my news post, and it tells me everything. Like it'll tell me, how many times and granted, some of it's not in Spanish, but it seemed like it was in another language. Like I know how to use Yoast SEO, but like things were like your key phrase density isn't strong enough. And of course, I know what that means, but it's got settings in there that will tell you exactly what it means, and it'll highlight some of the sections and explain exactly what you're missing. So it was a really good tool to kind of elaborate exactly what they meant.
And would you recommend the premium version over the free?
So again, I would start with the free version, get comfortable. Once your site starts growing and you know a little bit more about SEO, and if you don't, I say jump into that. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not going to pass you. I just really enjoy that premium plugin. And again, for years, I always just used the free version. But I wanted to take my site above and beyond. Now, of course, there's other SEO tools that it's not like a tool on page, but like I use SpyFu. SpyFu is a program that I pop in some keywords for a competitor or my own site, and it'll tell you where I rank. I will tell you that making up your own keywords is probably not for the best, right? Because you don't know how many search terms are in there. You don't know how many times it's being searched. And there's always variation of your search term that could probably do a little bit better. My perfect example is web designer. I'm a web designer. But I don't rank for the word web design. And even if I created 100 web pages and followed SEO, I'm not going to show up on page 1 for web design. I'm just not going to happen. I started popping in some keywords in this tool, and it said, well, why don't you try web design Orlando or web design Cocoa Beach, which are 2 cities and locations that I live in.
It narrows it down sort of.
I probably could rank for both of those. Not that I'm not getting the word of mouth traffic I already need, but it was just a really good tool for me, and they've got other ones, not SpyFu, but Ahrefs, SEMrush, just depending. And I think most of them are paid versions, but come with a free trial.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
What else we got? So that was a great question about SEO. I'll repeat it. I think some of you guys are on mute, so if you guys want to take off your mute or just chime in. Again, today is the questions and answers. I know we got a couple people just joining late. Questions and answers is more for you guys.
Hello.
Oh, hello. What's up, Nabil? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing great.
Yes. Okay. I have one question for you. We have a lot of images, right, with the directory. So there is any good image optimizer that supports this one, our ListingPro theme?
There is, man. They have to be set up properly, right? And somebody else can give you, a different experience. From my experience, man, I kind of hate those image optimization plugins. I'm using Imagify, which again, I think it starts off free on like so many different images. So if you're building a site, it's great. If you're going to import 90,000 images, 90,000 listings, you're going to have to pay for the premium. But I will tell you, with all of those image plugins, whether it's Smush It, Imagify, there's a bunch of those plugins out there. And Jetpack even does it. Make sure you optimize and set those up properly. So many times, and we actually have a lady from this group, I won't mention any names, don't worry. But so many times I get into a website, and especially if we're trying to move the website, or you're running on a hosting, and all of a sudden you're realizing that you're hosting, you're limiting yourself. What happens is some of these plugins, if you don't set them up properly, I've seen where they save 31 different copies of that image. So instead of having one image, it duplicates and creates something for every image size on your site. And now instead of one image, you have 31 images. Now, of course, your web page might load faster because yes, if you only need a 372 by 240 size image, that's being pulled in there, but your hosting price is going to go up because you're using so many resources to store those images. So optimize your images. Again, I'm using Imagify just to compress them. But I also, again, I've seen so many sites that they only have 600 listings and they're paying out the roof for hosting just because they didn't integrate it. They didn't say, hey, I only want the featured image and I want the image on the actual listing to show up. They're just doing whatever sizes, so the next thing you know, you got 31 images inside of one. I've never really been a fan of that. I did start using Imagify this last year only because I thought that was great, but I had to set it up. I had to integrate, tell it exactly what size images I wanted for where, and now I'm only getting 2 or 3 images per upload, which is helping me out a lot.
Okay, fine. One second. That name of the plugin Imagify, right?
Imagify, yep.
Okay, fine. Thank you for clearing it up. Thank you.
I'll put it in the chat just so you can see the wording. Imagify, I think I can spell. And again, if you start off with it like during the build, mine is still free. So eventually I'm sure that price will go up as needed, but by that time you're making money, it's worth it, right? Now there are some free ones, but again, just make sure you're optimizing that 100%. Yeah, I just had somebody 90,000 images, and we're like, we didn't really know what to do with them. Like, I just wanted to, I think we deleted them, but then we ran into some issues. Who's next?
Yeah, Timothy, sorry, Joe again. I was wondering about email marketing. What are you using? What's the best tool to use? Because I find with MailChimp and stuff, it costs quite a lot of money, and as well as that, it's got a lot of limits. What's your sort of strategy for reaching out, mainly reaching out to like businesses that we want to get to claim their listings? So I've done the listing for them, and I've got a bunch of businesses I want to email and say, hey, look, want to claim your listing. But what's the best email marketing, I don't know, plugin for that?
Unfortunately, I don't have the correct answer for this. At first, I thought, if you've tried MailChimp, adding 500 contacts is not bad, right? Even the free, I think it's month. I'm looking at the page right now. It says 2,000 contacts, but you can only do a certain amount of things. If you have an email list, I think, and I don't know how legit, so I'm not a lawyer. Don't take anything I say legally. I think
Yeah,
that back in my days, there were black hat and gray hat programs where I could use an emailer, switch my IP, and do things like that to mass market, let's say 10,000 emails. There's probably some
okay.
legit plugins out there. I'm just not that email list guy. Like if you were asking about, hey, how do I, message anybody who's already got a listing on my website, then that would be a different conversation, right? If you were comfortable with MailChimp and you were getting subscribers, use MailChimp. I also use
Yeah,
Email Blaster Pro from Listing Pro. I'm not saying, so for $99, they offer that plugin, and I tested it out. I like it if I had never used something like MailChimp or anything like that before, because MailChimp in itself, it's a learning curve, right? You got to maybe watch a tutorial or try to figure it out. You got to create your emails. You got to just know how MailChimp works. The plugin
yeah,
for Email Blaster Pro, as long as they're in there as listings, it was super easy. So if I didn't have anything else, $99, I'd sign up for that. Plug it into my website. Any user on my website, I'd be messaging. As far as the black hat, gray hat for like, how do I message 10,000 users? I've seen some customers come to me with some programs, and they've either had these or, and they say they work well. I'm not the email blasting email guy.
yeah. Because I'm working with like a spreadsheet basically, and I'd say I've collected about 81,000 emails, but I'm narrowing them down to per industry, and I've got the data. I've scraped all the data and I've made the listings, but emailing them is what I'm finding is what I'm struggling on, sort of, rather than doing it individually or by the industry.
Yeah, just blast out 81,000. The
Yeah,
best place to maybe ask is in the group of 1,000 members, right? We have people over there. I mean, I know it's not Listing Pro related, but there's 1,000
yes,
different people, and some of those guys, I've definitely used programs like that before. So
yeah,
hopefully
okay,
that helps.
thanks.
Let me know what you come up with. I've heard a lot of banning
Yeah,
issues. You're going to definitely get blocked, and how do you like rinse and repeat that without using a legit platform? Might be
yeah.
something you run into issues on.
I mean, like at the moment, I'm finding it useful doing it individually, sort of like by the industry. So then I'm not facing any blocks by my hosting or anything, like
Okay.
my email provider. So it was just for marketing emails down the line. I'm gonna have to look into something like MailChimp. I think if that's the sort of 81,000. But yeah,
Yeah, for 81,000 users, you're going to pay a hefty price at MailChimp. I don't think
yeah,
you're looking for a subscriber contact list. I think you're looking for like an email sending program, right? Because MailChimp is going to
mm,
gouge you at 81,000 members.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right, awesome. Nothing in the chat. See more people in the group. Anybody else have any questions, comments, Listing Pro stuff?
Yeah, I have a question.
Amr, go ahead.
Yeah. So, like, if you are adding images for designing purpose, like creating the section of listing by location or listing by anything, by ID or anything. So, for that purpose, we use images, and if we go to some website like squash.com or something like that, we can optimize our images from like below 100 kbs, uh, and we use them on the website. That's fine, but if a lister is adding the listing and he is uploading featured images and logos and other images, gallery images, and their images are not optimized. So for that purpose, what do you suggest? Like, do you suggest any plugin or anything to
Yeah,
optimize those images?
that's where Imagify comes into play. When
Okay.
you're designing it, you said the right things. Like especially when I put that featured that the homepage banner in, I have to optimize it. If it's a
Yeah.
video, we have to optimize it, right? So that'll get you higher speeds, same quality as long as your settings are good, but it'll just optimize and press that video. Like you said, as the web designer, it's easy to go in there and optimize your own images, especially if you're familiar with Photoshop or Paint or whatever tool.
Yeah.
That being said, that's where Imagify comes into play. Imagify is going to take because we know how it is, man. either they're taking an iPhone photo or any type of phone photo, or they're giving me like some like photography based photo that's super huge, super raw, and that's where Imagify is going to compress it and kind of do its work. And plugins like that will do its work.
All right.
We got a lot of people. Anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns? Joe, man, go ahead. You're running the group. I don't mind.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, no.
You know, I sort of prepared a list before, so I sort of know exactly what I want to ask.
That's good. We're all here for you, man. We just want to listen.
Yeah.
It's questions and answers. So we're all learning.
You see, like mainly on the homepage of the directories, you've got where you can search the location, like your city or your category. Is there a way to have another search box to then search the company name? So the direct name of the company that you're looking for, rather than the category like that. Exactly what's on your screen.
It's already kind of in there. I think that could you have another box having it? You can with custom coding. You can add as many boxes as you want up here. You can actually pull this out and throw in a whole Ajax search plugin. But the fact that it's already in there, I think the real thing, and I just loaded the install so I can show you guys without showing you somebody's site. But the real thing is just letting them know what they can search for. Right here it says, and this is just a default install, but it's food, services, barber, hotel. Let them know. Search for business name, category, tags, and what else? I think that's there's one more, tags, location. No, location's over here. So there's something else that you can search for in the search bar, but you definitely can search for, Euro, and find the business. Even if I just hit search, it should pop up with Euro collision only. So you can just search for the business name. Just let them know, right?
Oh, actually, it does work. Sorry, yeah. I think I had an issue before; it wasn't working, but I've just double checked and it does. Yeah, does work.
Anthony,
yeah, that's great.
See, you got your hand up. What's going on?
I think you have a question in the message.
Wait, what? Yeah. Wait. What? What are you offering? Oh, no worries. Anthony, you had a question?
Yeah, I did. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Tim, you were speaking of Imagify.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any experience with it back in the metadata end of it and the XIF as it relates to any type of SEO settings you may want to put in an image? My question probably would stem to, does it retain anything you may add to an image, or in its compression, does it do crazy things and rip some of it out?
That's a good
How
question.
does it handle the back end metadata of that image?
I'm actually checking right now because I don't know. That's a good question. I was using it mainly for the optimization tool, but you're right. So my logo and everything still has the same name, right? And this is just like the first thing.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. Let me do homepage collage. Still has the title, still has the alternative text, still has the caption, still has the description. So as far as that, like visually, I don't see anything pulled out of that. But yeah, that's actually a really good question that I just never, I was just using the data optimization part. Of course, I'm going back and retitling everything. If you were here in the beginning of the conversation, we're talking about, the SEO, and of course I want those right in too. So
the concern lies from back when you start geocoding images and you start adding, signals in its metadata and its, EXIF, and it's great if a plugin would just leave that alone and not mess with it, and negate your effort. You know what I mean? So I'm digging what I'm seeing so far on it. That was a great suggestion, but I wasn't sure, and I wanted to check with you to see if you had any experience with it. So on that end. So thanks for answering.
Yeah, no worries. What's been really cool for me is it's putting in those WebP formats as well, which I know we can optimize outside of the site, but I really enjoy that because that's really big on the algorithms for my site speed. And it's really been helping, so having those type of images where they're converted over as well, it's been doing a great job for that. And again, the pricing, I haven't started paying for it yet. I eventually I will, but I'm sure my site will be generating the money that I want as I'm doing it. But if you grab it during the development phase or your early phases, again, it optimizes as you go, and you only pay for a set, and then it resets every month. So it's like, it's great just to kind of play around. There was a question in chat. Will you be offering a pre-made template like your kiteboarding website? Ray, so I tried pre-made templates. It wasn't a huge seller. I started selling them on the Overnight Coder. Yeah, so here's the long story short. With ListingPro, I never wanted to sell any of my templates, right? We had advertising templates, we had homepage templates, but I didn't really want to sell those because, I was a web designer in the space, and if I sell it for $50 or $40 or $20 and you install it, everybody was just installing the templates. What happened is because I'm not fading away from ListingPro, but I'm jumping more into the custom solutions and custom builds. I was more apt to sell those templates, right? Or to give those templates away and giveaways. So I'm sure some of you guys, I'm going to pull up a screen real quick. So you can see some of the templates that we had, some of the templates that I was offering. It just wasn't as big as a deal as I thought it was. So let me jump into, I'm going to share so perfect. This was one of the templates that we had. Of course, just the 3 blocks on the top, premium listings, call out, categories. And feel free to screenshot this because I think this, actually I'm recording the video, it's actually a good layout, right? So this is a good layout. This was an advertising template, allowing people to advertise. Of course, the things that you see on the right were ListingPro. The things that you see on the left actually came with an integration with Stripe. So people could actually purchase these directly and then go to a thank you page where they could submit their graphic and their link. They didn't have to have a listing. So, for a while I do a lot of those, anywhere from $75 to $125 to get the same type of layout with your screenshots, your integration with Stripe. That was a template. Yeah, so I had a few different homepage layouts. It just didn't sell like I thought. So I think, I don't know if I removed it, but I don't really focus on the templates anymore. Let me just check. Let me see. So I think I had a templates here. Looks like they're still there. Don't buy this premium video. It's now in the directory talk group for free. This was the hour and 40 minutes on how to create this site. This is another template. And yeah, I think I had to remove a template because it had somebody's site who didn't want to be shown. So no big deal there. I should have asked permission first. But yeah, so templates, I'm not really selling templates, more just doing custom work. Now you asked about the kiteboarding website. So we'll get into that here in about 30 minutes. I'm going to share the screen again, but that's not ListingPro. I know that after this talk, I wanted to jump in. Hopefully some more people are jumping in the conversation. But the kiteboarding site and I'll just show everybody so we're all on the same page. I do have a live version of the site. It's almost the same. I've just fixed a couple things. This isn't ListingPro, so there's no template I can offer. I can tell you that, you can definitely build something like this. This is Elementor Pro at the bottom. It's obviously a hero image. And you have a slider with categories in it, super basic. The layout here, you're not going to have the same, but you've just got text, and then you've got your premium listings or whatever listings. This is just a call to action with 2 sides, column here, and then more stuff, and then Elementor Pro blogs. So anything that you're seeing here definitely can be duplicated. But again, I'm not selling templates like that, especially that aren't going to work because, with ListingPro, unless I rip out your header to put in something that's completely built from Elementor, that header is still going to stay there on your own page. So it's like trying to sell that and then tell you how to customly rip out your header without breaking it goes a little bit above and beyond selling a template. Hopefully that answered your question, but stick around. 11 o'clock, I'll talk more about the custom solutions that anybody can build. Any more questions in chat? No hands raised. What do you guys got? If not, I know Joe's got some more questions, guys. Maybe not. Am I on mute? Can you guys hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm just thinking.
No, don't worry.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, that's why we're here. Today is
Okay.
I'm not leaving anything. Questions and answers.
Is there any plugin you have used to translate your ListingPro site from English to any other language?
I've seen Translate Press. I've seen WPML. I've seen obviously Logo Translate will do it if you're not trying to keep the original language, or even if you're trying to do a secondary set. I try to stick away from, because the only language I know is English. And even with my clients, like I just so stick away from translation. I have seen some of those plugins work really well. I've got a site who a guy translated everything into Norwegian. He put a lot of time into using Loco Translate for everything. I also have a client that does Turkish Bazaar. She's in our group, and she has done multiple languages using programs like WPML and Translate Press. So good luck with those. I don't offer any translation assistance.
Thank you.
Maybe that'll help.
Hello, Timothy. Nabil here. One more question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, there is a Redux framework, right? There's some any issue with that? I'm facing some issue with the Redux framework.
With Redux,
Yes, yes.
I think what you do is update it twice. So Redux definitely broke everybody's sites if you accidentally upgraded between like last month or a few weeks ago.
Okay.
The solution to that is upgrade it, refresh the page, upgrade it again, because if you're on that broken one, I heard a lot of issues with that. So again, the latest copy that they have now should be good to go.
Okay, fine. And one more question. Can we add a WhatsApp chat in the first page of the directory? There is any kind of options?
Wait, can you do what? Add WhatsApp to what?
WhatsApp chat, WhatsApp option.
Yeah, I definitely think you can add WhatsApp. Where were you trying to add it?
In the below, in the what to say, in the header, footer. Can we add their WhatsApp chat option?
In your footer?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't like the new WordPress footer selection. Let's just see if it works. And I'll tell you the latest version of Redux right now is 4.2.14. 4.2.14. With that being said, so I normally use the footer. I'm just going to show you my favorite footer option just because I get full control. So if I come down here to footer, I like this one. Again, you can use whatever fits your styling, but for ListingPro, I was going with the 4-column, just the 4 layout section. And I'll show you, when you go into that, you actually have to make sure 4 columns is set. You can change the background, of course, you can change the top, but you don't have the top. After you do that, everything is set up into your widgets. Now, this gets a little weird because before you went to widgets and it wasn't like this. This is the new editor. Not really happy with the new editor. Remember, widgets were like all on the left and like your footer areas were over here. But this is how it is now with the new WordPress. So I guess I got to get used to it. These are my 4 footer areas, right? So in the first one, I might do a text box with a logo. On my second one, I do whatever. In this 4th one, just figure out your WhatsApp, or if you use a plugin or something for a WhatsApp chat. I don't use WhatsApp, so maybe, if it was just a call to action or a button and a link, you can definitely set it up, but you can actually add anything you want in these footers. So like if I was doing, I'm not really familiar with too much of WhatsApp. I know that there's a WhatsApp button where I can they click it and it just like calls me or could text like the SMS. I mean, I'm familiar with that, but I have seen some people use different chat programs as well. What is it? Talk.io? Maybe somebody can chime in if you've seen it. It might be Talk.io. No, this is not it. Just those different programs where you'll see it pop up in the right-hand corner and allow you to kind of chat. Matter of fact, I got a site that'll show it for you ourselves.
But ListingPro doesn't support, right? Most of the plugins.
No, they're not going to support it. As soon as you put that third-party plugin in there, it's removed. Oh no, here. You kind of got a chat base here, and that's Tidio. So Tidio is a cool program that you can use. I don't think it's free, but I think you can definitely try it out. But again, as soon as you put that third-party software in there, ListingPro is going to be like, oh, it's one of your plugins. It's one of your. So here's Tidio for free. So you can definitely try it out. No credit card required. And of course, as you start growing and want to do something a little bit more, you can increase. But this is a really cool program with preset features in there too. And again, I'm not sure how you can reroute it. Like I can do mine through Messenger, which is where I'm at. Again, I'm just not really comfortable with WhatsApp myself. I actually have a WhatsApp button over here.
Yes.
And we can figure out what plugin this is too if you need. So just let me know in messages, and I'll help you out finding what the site is using. Web WhatsApp. Now, hopefully that answered it, right? Listing Pro is really big on, like, as soon as you add something else, like, they're going to be like, no, it's one of your plugins. So I deactivate all my plugins, and I'm like, all right, now can you take a look? And they're like, oh, it's one of your plugins. I'm just like, whatever. So, really good company. Don't get me wrong, really good company. I just, it's easy to blame something else, right? It's easier to blame something else and actually take a look.
Seems like Listing Pro is quite introvert.
I love it.
I think
Yeah.
you might be able to just make a call to action as well for that WhatsApp. If you just put the WhatsApp icon and then make a call to action, so when they click on it, it will open the WhatsApp chat link, and they'll be able to. That's usually what I do on my website.
Yeah, me too, Joe. For call to actions, I'm just like Joe said, I'll throw an image in there and make the image clickable, right? And even open up a new link. So the image could be the WhatsApp icon, it could be pretty much anything. And I utilize that a lot. Like I use it for the logo and the footer. I use, even though I know there's you can drop in the logo, I'm just much more proficient with doing an image. That way I can resize, relink, and do whatever I want with it to make a footer, kind of like the way I want it. But awesome information, Joe. How does it look on mobile? Is it optimized speed? Olivia's dad, buddy. All right, Olivia's dad. What do you mean by what optimized? Your website? How do you optimize the site? I'm sorry, I need a little bit more information. We'll come back to you.
Timothy, is there a way to accept like Bitcoin payments or any crypto sort of payments on the site in a safe way?
Payment integration is super difficult, man. So a while back, me and Interman were checking into integrating a payment solution that was outside the box. And of course, Listing Pro, they offer the customization. I've seen them do it a few times. I've also seen them not complete a lot of the different sections. Like if somebody's checking out with, matter of fact, let me share my screen again. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So somebody's checking out with, if somebody's checking out like on your site for a listing, of course, that's where the integration normally would be. But what about like the advertisements when they're on the back end? What about recurring invoices? What about, so I think that Listing Pro can definitely do it. They offered a plugin. This is like year one that I looked into it. It's called Payment Hooks, and it allows you to hook into the payments. It comes with no documentation. And me and another buddy who definitely dived deep into code, I couldn't get it to work, man. I couldn't get it to read all the fields. Like it was really clunky. The payment hooks weren't really obvious. So it was super annoying trying to hook that up. So for other people, I have offered custom payment solutions, but I no longer integrate with Listing Pro. Like I do it outside of Listing Pro. I redirect things. The button's no longer linked to. So it is possible. Now I'll tell you, because you mentioned Bitcoin, well, there's a super easy way to do anything visual, because Bitcoin doesn't have like Bitcoin's Listing Pro is not going to jump into your Bitcoin and check to make sure you receive that payment. Like there's just no API
No
option.
way for it to do. Yeah.
So the cool thing is with the pricing plan or the payment options is direct payment and wire. This doesn't have to say direct payment and wire, right? All this is offering information. Bank account information, accounting and routing. This could have a barcode for any type of barcode payment. This could have your Bitcoin wallet or whatever you need to send there. So again, I know it says direct payment and wire, but you can literally, I can put my Cash App in here, Cash App me here, bam, T-front.
Yeah.
So this could be used as a visual payment. Just keep in mind, anything in here is a manual check, but just like it would be, because Bitcoin's not going to go into your wallet, or Listing Pro is not, it would be a manual check. You check your account if it's there, and then somebody signed up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
try this option.
Cool.
I think stop share. So the question we kind of reformed from chat was, what kind of scores does it get on mobile? 29. So let's be honest. This is the elephant in the room. I hate to bring this up, and we are recording, but Listing Pro isn't known for the optimization. So my first directory for myself was the kiteboarding directory, and It was visually fast. Like I had it was super fast. I mean, I was on a server that I paid $60 for. It was probably one of few things on there. And I had optimized it so well, going through all the optimization of GT, our GT metrics, right? And I was running like a D. But again, my site pulled up in seconds on mobile, so I was okay with that. But the algorithms had it at a low number. I ran it on Page Insights or Google Page Feed Insights, and it ran like a 9 out of 100 on mobile. And that's when I was like, dude, enough is enough. And again, visually fast, it was great. Now, some people said, oh, when we get into 2021, that those page speed algorithms are going to affect your SEO. I was still showing up on page 1 for my SEO terms. I'm not, it just has a lot, right? It has a bunch of features you're probably not using. It has a bunch of different sections that do. I'm not taking away from it because it's a great program. It just has a lot of different features, right? And to integrate all those, they probably needed all that stuff, but it just, it's a little bit different. It's definitely, you can make it visually fast. I'll tell you the biggest thing that I ever see is server speed. Most people come to me and they're like, hey, why is my site slow? We run a score on it, and I'm like, well, server speed is definitely the problem. Like, fix your server speed. But hopefully that answered your question there. You can get it visually fast. Your page speed algorithms, they might still be jacked up. Right? Anybody else? I'm actually running 2 speed tests just to check something before I show you guys. But don't all talk at once, guys. Jump right in. Google said they're upping their algorithm, but it doesn't seem to have a major effect yet. Yeah, Troy, I agree. You know, like I said, the same thing. I'm not seeing it. I just checked my site. I'm running a 66 on mobile, but page speed, I guess that's good. And I haven't even started to optimize the new site. I will show you the GT metrics score because I really like that one.
Yeah, they've published it a few times, but I don't think they've really put much to it as yet. I think they'll slowly creep it up and see what the impacts are.
Yeah. Again, you know, it's not going to stop my SEO from doing its job, but I guess. But I jumped into the custom solution. I like it, right? I think the biggest thing is I'm not using CDN, but again, it's just my test girl. So of course it doesn't have CDN on it. So I think that'll jump up to a 99. And then page speed insight is not as great, but again, there's limited optimization in here. Desktop's running a 98. Mobile, it's running a 66 compared to my 9 or 10. But there's so many things that I can fix on mobile that, you know, again, I'm not worried about it. The site right now is super fast. And again, it's just, I ran a testing URL, so it's not even my real site. But hopefully that entices people. Chat, Google said, okay, perfect. That's Troy. That's all I have so far, guys. We got about another 19 minutes before I jump into just custom solutions and what you guys could actually do. I understand some of you guys might not be sticking around for that. This first part was just ListingPro Questions and Answers. I didn't control the group, you know, the first chat, like I just spoke for like 15, 20 minutes. This one, it's all about you guys and the questions and answers. So hopefully some of this has helped you guys. But if you have something, go ahead, feel free to speak up.
Yeah, Tim. Sorry, can I call you Tim? Yeah, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about reviews, like for rather than them customers coming onto our site and putting a review on the person's listing. Can we not import their reviews from like Trustpilot or Google Reviews or something like that? The reviews they already have, or the customer can upload the reviews they already have.
You might be able to do that, man, with like WP All Import or WP All Import Pro. I have the Pro version, man. If you want to get with me, I can double test it. The only thing is downloading those reviews. First, you need something to extract those reviews and then to be able to publish them. I know that I've definitely seen toolkits that will extract the data from, like if I wanted to, like 321 Kiteboarding is a company here in Purple Beach. If I wanted to take all those reviews and put them in a widget on my page, I've seen a couple of programs that actually do that without having like download and import. It's just taking the name of the company and then showing you a review box. So not the same as having them on your website where you can control them and delete what you want. but just like taking
Yeah.
reviews or Yelp reviews and posting them over there. I think they have.
What's that widget called? Sorry.
You know, I'll have to look it up, man. I don't personally use it, but I've seen it like I've seen it a bunch of times.
Okay.
So remind me if I don't tell you by the end of this, and I'm looking it up now, trying to see if I can find it. I just personally haven't used it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks for that footer information on the widget as well, because I was having some issue trying to edit the footer, and I didn't realize that it was in the widget section. So thanks for that.
Yeah, footer. Well, depending on how you set it up, right? If you've got like footer style 1, I think that's just the information from your theme options footer section. But footer style 4, that's why I like footer style 4, because I like to create my own footer. Like I don't just want, you know, whatever you think and the styling that you think. I like to kind of create my 4 different sections for almost everybody. And you'll see that a lot on my sites. It's just popular for me to like do a 4-column footer.
Yeah, definitely.
Terry, good morning. Nothing from your end? She might not say anything, but that's all right. I'm glad you're here. Got Sarah.
I have a question.
Yeah, Elmer, lead it up.
Have anyone tried to integrate WP Rocket with their directory?
WP what?
WP Rocket.
WP Rocket. So I had a really good server. I wasn't that happy with the turnout, man. And the reason I wasn't happy is because you literally, and especially like if you have one of those servers like SiteGround or CloudWage that has its own server caching, and then you have your computer cache, and then you have, you know, browser cache, and then you have the internet cache. And I found it really, it's a good plugin. And again, I don't buy many premium plugins. That was my second premium plugin for the year. But you literally have to test everything. Like you can you test one thing, and then the bad thing was, well, what happens if it was server cache or browser cache and you didn't purge your varnish cache? And then my reports would say it was great. Like I was running with ListingPro, all of a sudden I'd be at a B. And then, you know, in the morning I'd refresh and I'd be running a D. And I was just like, oh man, this is broken. So I think with ListingPro, it's a little bit harder. I will tell you something I had never tried, but I kept seeing everybody say, oh, try Nitro Pack, try Nitro Pack. Nitro Pack is the shiznit. And I had never tried it. And of course, you have to pay after 5,000 views. So it's not like, you know, it's a scaling platform that you're going to pay monthly for. But test it out, man. Nitro Pack, it was minimal setup. I didn't have to configure a lot of things. I loved it. I just don't know if I'm going to pay $17 for Nitro Pack like a month. That doesn't sound like my pricing schedule. You know? Not that that's a lot. I don't mean to say it's a lot, but as a beginning site coming up, if you're not making anything, $17 a month times 12, that's just an expense I didn't want to see. And again, my sites were fast. I run on a good server, so it's just additional. But try Nitro Pack, definitely WP Rocket. Well, I can't say try WP Rocket because it's definitely premium. Nitro Pack you can try out of the gate today for free, no credit card. It's early on the West Coast, just making up. Terry, I appreciate that. We appreciate you being here. I remembered to record this, so we'll see if I can post it. This should be a fun one.
Tim, can we boost ads for people? Can we choose who we give free ad space to, like in Spotlight ads and side of listing ads?
Yeah, if you haven't already seen it, let me show you. So back here, again, this is a manual process, but this is my ListingPro site, right? The blank install that I installed this morning. If you go to theme options or matter of fact, not theme options, but right here in ads, you can actually set up ads for free for people. I'll run you through the quick process. So right here, you have the existing 3. Let me show you a new one. So the first thing I do is I like to give it a visual title. Usually the visual title is, so when I'm looking at this page, I know exactly who I'm giving it to, even though it's
okay.
So let's say ads. Yeah. I'm gonna create a new one. I type in, let's do Sushi Kashiba, because I know that's here, and I probably spelled it wrong, so we'll just do Sushi K. I select the listing, which is also, oh wait, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
I type in sushi. Were you able to see where I did it? Right here?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, this is great.
So I select a listing here, and then I can pick which or where I want them to show. Keep in mind the spotlight is anywhere you've dragged in the plugin, usually on the home page for me. Sidebar listings, make sure you actually have that activated. And then top of search would be top of the search. So in this case, I'm going to select all. And then I don't ever use pay-per-click, only because it's just, I just don't. I do pay-per-day. So I say pay-per-day, hey, I want you to have it for 60 days, you're my friend, or even, and then just click publish, and that'll actually fall off in 60 days. The cool thing about it is you can actually adjust your pricing plans. I didn't put in a license code for this thing, but if you were to go to your, I don't want to show you anybody else's. If you were to go, yeah, I do. I think Earth. If you were to go to your pricing plan page, I think they have a custom, but you'll still be able to see. And let's just say they added it here. Like you say, hey, by the way, on this plan, and I know these are custom compared to what you're used to. She's done a wonderful job. But maybe on like your big package, you say, hey, you actually can get an ad for 60 days and show up at the top of the search. And of course that's a manual, but when this premium listing comes through, now all you have to do is create it manually. Or maybe you've got a friend.
Go and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super cool to do that.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Hopefully that helps.
You know the link. When I had a look at the link, the URL link, when on listing, and then the listing name, is there a way to get rid of the /listing/ and then the listing name? Can it just say the listing name instead of listing?
It's super hard to change the permalinks in the theme. There's some coding, but because the permalinks are hard coded a bunch of different times, I don't have the perfect solution for that yet, just because it is hard coded. I will tell you that if you go to your theme options and go to theme options URL config, they actually have the word listing in there, right? And you can change that word listing to X or 1 or company or something like that, and that is an easy change. To remove it completely, that will definitely, like if you just have the field blank, it'll definitely throw some errors. So I don't recommend that. With some custom coding, you might be able to redo the permalinks. Maybe somebody in here has done it. I personally have just experienced so many buggy issues with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, got 10 minutes before I wrap this one up and jump into another one. We'll be sticking in here for the next conversation. Again, the next conversation is super fun. Just kind of how you can build some things on your own with some different programs. And I want to show you those just so you can see. I understand this is a ListingPro group, so if you guys don't stick around in 10 minutes, I totally understand that. And at some point, I have to step out for a minute. I was gonna say pee, but we're all adults here. Troy, go ahead, man. What do you got?
Yeah, this one, is there a site or a list somewhere of all the ListingPro websites, designs and things that you can have a look at for inspiration, other than the demo templates?
Yeah, don't go off ListingPro site, right? That thing is so outdated. Troy, that
Yes.
all you're gonna see is broken links. Like I say, yellow pages or suburbia or search, something like that, but don't go off ListingPro. I know if you search for it, you can find their inspirational pages. Those pages are broke. What I like to do is, if you're in our Facebook group, hopefully you are, type the word inspiration. Inspiration will pop up, I think, like 2 or 3 different, 4 different conversations. The original ListingPro group has about 3,000 members, right? It's not my group. They like to hold back everything. So like your stuff has to be revised. That's why I started this group. But that group also has a bunch of inspirational posts, and because they have so many more members, you'll see a lot of junk, but you'll see a lot of great sites. I think in ours we've got Peak. Terry actually has a great site that I won't share with you unless she decides to share it. Peak Pro, Pre-Lifestyles. Those are people that have offered, to show up their designs, and they're really done really well. So it's great inspiration to see. But don't be limited. The idea is if you're a developer and you can develop it, you can have your own style. But it's good to see other people's ideas, and I think that's why we built the group. I didn't build the group so I could ask or answer a bunch of questions. It's all ideas, and that's why I'm hosting these today. We get different ideas from different people, and it's just great to consider everybody's experience.
The other question I had was, have you tried any automation software to automatically pull the data off ListingPro onto a CRM that you can then use it.
Does anybody else want to answer that? I personally have not. It's okay to share.
It's okay. I was just looking at there's some lifetime deal on Pavly Connect, which runs the automations, where I was thinking we could pull the data off and then have it on a CRM, which we could then use and then automate some emails and things going out. But I hadn't seen or known anyone that had integrated something like that.
So I'm not sure about the integration on like ListingPro directly, because again, I haven't used it, but I think there was a chat here in this new group. If you're not already in it, I know I mentioned it, the directory websites. It's a smaller group, but it's everything directory. There was they were talking about AI in here just recently, and there was a lot of praises for it. A lot of people were trying something like that out. I'm hoping to find, if I just type in AI, it's not going to be what I want. There's definitely something in here that everybody was like giving it a good praise, and I just don't. Oh, here it is. I'm just wondering. It's amazingly good. She's a copywriter, and it just gives you more ideas. There's a 7-day free trial, so there's just a bunch of people that have tried it. But me personally, I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
Deals on AppSumo. And then again, I've gotten a lot of questions like, hey, are you using AI? I'm just so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to try new things.
They mentioned Writer there. I've got the pro version of that. That's really good for your sort of general summary paragraphs about particular topics. Instead of sitting down and trying to write something from scratch, you can put a couple of points in there, it will automatically generate unique copy for you.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really provide content though. Like if I was a content writer, and even for my own site, like I'm writing all this. Well, actually, I didn't write it all up because obviously, as you'll see, I actually had an author write it up. But she's in our community, right? So anything for my specific niche, I don't know if a bot can do better, right? Because I know about the kiteboarding industry. I was a kiteboard instructor. I had owned a partnership in a shop and school. But you're right. Could it find the algorithms and probably write some content and save me some time? I probably have more news articles than I have now. But I like speaking, and I'm not a writer by all means. I don't write for my clients, but for my niche, I'm just really in tune with like typing what I want. But again, I think it's an awesome solution, especially because we've got so many tools that we can utilize nowadays. I'm just, I'm not young, I'm not old either, but I think I'm just stuck in my ways, and I need to kind of like upgrade into the new terminal or the new technology. And I haven't done that with everything yet.
I think if you're populating listings on the directory without a lot of text on that page, then anything you can do to add that text will be a benefit for your search work. So there's another one called quillbot.com, that you can have a look at a description of a business that's already been published, copy and paste that description into Quillbot, and that will then rephrase it for you and give you another version. So they have a free version of that, which I find quite useful for populating a listing page. So there's just not the business name, the phone number, like so many other sites have. It actually gives some content for the pages as well.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. I'm glad you brought that up. So, I mean, a lot of times, what are people doing? They're just copy and pasting what they find, right?
Yeah, and there's duplicate content. So I worry about the SEO side of that.
Yeah, you could definitely, and not only that, you could include some of your own keywords that'll benefit you as well as the customer. So I really like that. Great idea. I'm going to have to check into it now. Let me see. Last things from chat. We got a couple more minutes. What's the link to the bot that you just mentioned? If you'll check out, what was that, Troy?
Yeah, I'll just put in
the
chat. Quillbot.com.
I think I'm going to check it out too. Sounds cool.
So they have a free version, which I think it's about 300 words. If you register your email address, I think that goes up to 600. And then I think if you actually buy the pro plan, which is about $100, I think it goes up to 1,000 or 10,000. But it's very good.
And see, that's why we're here. Things like this is why we have this group, guys. I appreciate you guys coming. We've got another few minutes. If anybody has any final questions, then I'm going to give like a 2-minute break, and I'll be right back to talk about the Kroger Block solution. Really excited to share, what we have there. And we'll be talking a lot about the kiteboarding site, just so you guys can see what we're doing, how you do it, things of that nature. But last questions, anybody?
Is there a way to convert our directory into an app?
Yeah, there definitely is. Somebody's gonna have to help me. Who was here during the directory? What was that link? So let me give you the runabout. First off, I was an app developer many years ago. I don't stick with it now, so to tell you I can build you an app, I'm not going to introduce that. The thing is, you can turn a site. Most sites nowadays are mobile responsive, right? So you can turn a site. First off, you don't need an app. You can just go on your phone and it's mobile responsive, just the way you need. It doesn't have push to talk notifications, doesn't have those app features, doesn't have the bottom with the app menu and things like that. So the next step is you can pay a Fiverr guy just a few bucks. And we're talking super cheap, but then you have to pay for the app development. For iOS, it's $100 a year. Android, I'm just not sure. So you pay that $100, you pay your Fiverr developer maybe $50, and he can turn your website into an app, which just means that you get everything, but now you get it inside of an app button that you can purchase at the store. And yes, you can have a menu. Probably not going to get the push to talk notifications for $50, but at least you can now, people can download an app, click a button, and open up your website. And then the third method is go full on app, right? So there are companies out there. There was one in the ListingPro theme group. If you search for app, it's a gentleman called Andrea with an EA at the end. He's actually got a company that built the app for ListingPro, and they did My Listing first. I haven't tested it, but I see a lot of comments on that My Listing app that they did. And then they came out and recently just launched one for ListingPro that doesn't have all the features yet, but they're working on version 2. The good news is they have a success history of building the app for directory sites and directory WordPress themes. So I would trust that it's probably a good app, right? I know a couple of people that bought it, but they haven't integrated, they haven't gotten approved on the App Store yet. So it's really hard to tell, but that is a more, that's actually a cheaper feature because they did it for the whole theme, maybe $69.99, something like that dollars. If you were going to a real app developer and you said, hey, I want to integrate my whole thing, you're looking at, I mean, I would have charged over $1,000 and in some cases close to 5,000. So just give you, you have your different options. And then keep in mind, ListingPro just came out with that Android app. We don't have any ListingPro reps in here. I'm not really trusting it yet. I don't know if they've ever built an app before. I don't know. I haven't seen any reviews. I haven't seen anybody using it. So until I've seen something there, I'm personally not going to try it. I don't have an Android phone. Otherwise, I'd contact them. They'd let me try it for free. I have an iPhone, so there's no testing of. I'm not with it. So again, but they just came out with that as well. That could be affordable. So anywhere from $50 to thousands.
If anyone's looking for the one for ListingPro, it's custom listing app.
I didn't see you, Mary. Perfect.
And they have a Facebook group. So you can talk and communicate with them there. I did buy the app. I haven't implemented it, but I've looked at the software for it and the instructions, and it's pretty comprehensive. So that kind of it impressed me a little bit, but and they'll actually get it up and installed for you for a price too, and it's not expensive.
And that's definitely, thanks for chiming in, Mary. That she helped us out last time. I couldn't remember. But yeah, so that would be my go-to recommendation, only because they have the track history.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Anybody else? Perfect. Listen, I'm going to take 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I am going to stop the recording and start another one. This was ListingPro, guys. I appreciate the questions and answers. I'm not going anywhere. I will be right back for the secondary part, which I'm going to go another hour. Just a lot of it's going to be me talking about a custom solution that anybody can do. So if you'd like to stick around, we welcome you here. Again, I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back.